Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. Good to see you here. Welcome to another week. I don't know what we're going to talk about today, so that's entirely up to you. So if you have a question, leave a message in the chat. Start your message with the letter Q, and it'll make it easier for me to see on the screen here. Looks like we got a bunch of people in the chat already, which is always nice to see. Thanks for joining. Nice cat sweater. Lily got this for me. It's a Pusheen holiday sweater. Pusheen making coffee. There's coffee apparatuses. There's a grinder. There's a drip. What do you call it? Pour over. Yeah, it's cute. It's very cute. I figured it's the season. Great. Okay. So I have still making progress on my tape archiving project. You can see a couple tapes up there. Eventually I'll be done with that, but I've got boxes to go. I did actually have to get a new deck. This is an 8mm high 8 VCR, essentially. Looks just like a VCR. You pop a tape in, play, rewind, record, and that's it. It's super simple. I love it. It came from Japan, so it's got like Japanese markings on it, so I did Google Translate input output on the back. But it's been working. So it plays some of the tapes that the camcorders were not able to, which is good. A couple of the tapes were a little bit too damaged still, so the ones from like the early 90s are about not 100% success rate, but making progress. Eventually I will be done with it, and then we won't have tapes in the background anymore. Camera didn't have machine control or something? No, so I wasn't even bothering trying to automate the play and stop and rewind. I've been doing it the other way around, which is essentially monitoring the output to see when it goes to that blue screen, and then sending myself a notification, having it auto stop the hyperdeck recording. But I come down and like manually, rewind the tape and start it. I don't need automated control, but some of the tapes just weren't working in the camcorder. So, yeah. Cool. Okay. Couple questions coming in. Matt says, I haven't got my GhostStream duet out of the box. How do I bring in audio from the RØDECaster Pro 2? Can I do it via USB? No, the GhostStream doesn't do audio input over USB. So the GhostStream has analog inputs. So it's got, it has mic 1, mic 2, 1/8 inch inputs. So you can run the output of the RØDECaster into one of these and then bring in the audio that way. But the USBs don't do audio input on that. What hyperdeck codec are you using for these? So I am, the scaler that I'm using to convert to HDMI from the S-video cable upscales to 720p, which is actually nice because I don't need it to go to HD because it's nowhere close to HD in the source. And so my hyperdecks are actually set to record. It's running directly from the scaler into the hyperdecks. So, oh hey, I can actually jump the PTZ camera over there to show you. So this is the one that's doing. These two are the ones doing recordings from the two decks that I have back there, and that means they're recording actually at 720, which is useful because I don't need them. I don't need to do a 1080 recording because it's not even that high resolution to begin with. So these are just set to record H.264 medium, which is also more than I need. So these files end up being, I'm looking for one of the files. Oh, it's on the cloud pod, which is almost full. I need to do this next step actually very soon, which is to transcode these, because these files end up still way bigger than they need to be based on the source material. So like the one that I did yesterday, it's an hour long and it's 15 gigs, and that's way too big. So I'm going to transcode those all down and they'll be a lot smaller. And yeah. Brad says, mentioning legacy decks brings up a pertinent topic. What do you think about LG ceasing Blu-ray player production? I didn't hear that. What do you think you'll do to build out and maintain legacy Blu-ray capabilities? So funny thing about that is I somehow skipped the entire Blu-ray generation entirely. I went from DVDs. I had a large DVD collection. I went to from DVDs to just files. So somehow I managed to skip Blu-ray entirely. So I did actually weirdly, like a month ago, buy a Blu-ray recorder, USB recorder, so I can do archiving, because the discs hold a lot of data compared to DVDs. So my plan is to do actual like some of like the YouTube videos for this channel and other data, just doing periodic dumps onto discs, and just to have another medium, because right now it's like on two separate. Most of my data is on two separate Synology NASs, which are RAID 5 and RAID 6. And I have, two different sets of drives. So it's redundant, not just in the NAS drives, but also there's a second copy of it. But it's always useful to have another medium. So I figure I'll start dumping some of these onto Blu-ray discs as well. But yeah, I hadn't heard that they're actually stopping Blu-ray player. I guess it makes sense. There's like no market for that anymore. Tim says, GoStream Duet, how about the USB to computer for live stream, or do you need to plug in an Ethernet cable? So either way, you can do it either way. The GoStream has an Ethernet port, and it has a built-in streaming encoder, which is useful. So you can go to YouTube straight without using a computer. But if you prefer to use a computer, like you want to bring all your cameras into OBS and do graphics overlays there, you can also bring in the webcam feed over USB, which is, so you get both options. And there's definitely reasons to do it both ways. Can you control the PTZ with the Blackmagic 4K8 joystick? I've never even touched that product. That is the, oops. That is this one. Somebody in the chat, I'm sure, knows. I've never actually, I keep forgetting to go play with it at NAB. There is a little joystick. I don't remember if it's PTZ control or if it's just the other camera controls that the ATEM does. Yeah, somebody in the chat will know, though. I would think hard drives are almost cheaper than burnable Blu-ray now. Pretty sure they are, yeah. But they, it's just good to have redundancy in media formats as well, as evidenced by the pile of tapes behind me, which are barely playable at this point. So, also, one of the things I've noticed about going through all these is that apparently a lot of the 8mm tapes were duplicated onto VHS, and so there's a lot of similar, like we have copies of the same content on both different formats, and it's good because the technology just changes, and sometimes the 8mm tapes didn't last as long as the VHS did, or the other way around. So, yeah. Brad says, I'm thinking of getting a Thunderbolt LTO tape deck for legacy storage, more reliable long-term than discs. That is what I have heard. It's also a lot more expensive. Also, I will say, I have now dumped several DVDs that are close to 20 years old, and they've been fine. And that's a pretty good run, I think. David says, my Legion T730 has an i9 and 2080 came with a DVD, and I swapped it out with a slim Blu-ray and performed perfectly. Cool. Yeah. Andre says, is it safe to upgrade the latest versions of ATEM software, Mac and PC, for Constellation 2ME, HD, and Extremes? Why did that just go black? Well, that's weird. Any known issues? So there was the issue that some people had on Mac, that the ATEM software app would just crash when it opened, and that was Not good. It had something to do with interaction between the ATEM software and like the window manager on um, on the Mac. It was either the built-in one or third-party apps, and somehow I managed to avoid that problem the entire time, and it was never an issue. But they did just put out an update for that also that fixed it. So I think it's safe. I've been running on the latest version now. Actually, I haven't updated to that one yet, but I'm on the one right before that, which has been fine this whole time for me. I lucked out, I guess. And I did just update this to OS. What am I on? Sequoia 15.1.1 right now. I need to do another update tonight. So it's it's been fine for me. I guess I got lucky with that last bug. John says I have a lot of old files encoded as FLV, and it's a pain to use them. Oh yeah, I remember that generation. That was a mess of video formats. I think I still have some of those too. I should really deal with that soon. Shane says, over the last 4 to 5 weeks, we've been having problems with live streaming from the church using the ATEM Mini Pro. Are other people having the same problem? We're in the UK. I'm curious. Anybody else notice any issues? Oh, speaking of which, how is my stream today? Because last week, that was a bit of a mess. I didn't change anything. I'm still going to YouTube from the ATEM Mini Pro right now over SRT. Same as last week. And last week, we had a bunch of weird glitches. So hopefully things are better today. I haven't. I looked briefly during the countdown on YouTube, and it seemed fine. So yeah, no digital art today. Great. Okay. Neil says ATEM Software 962 has added Visca over IP to all the constellations. Don't know if TV Studio 4K8 has it. Oh, that's a great tip. Let's see. Let's take a look at the release notes for that. ATEM. So this is... Oh, the panels got updates in that. Okay. How about 962? So the constellations got new features. Visca over IP. Okay, but it doesn't say that the... it looks like it's only the constellation models right now, not the panels. So they'll probably add it to the panel models soon. They tend to do the updates in groups like this. So that's cool. I should actually install that then and see if I can control that like camera that's on the back. It'd be kind of cool. Should I do it live? What could go wrong? Graham says I've been using ATEM Extreme in the UK with no problems. How would I do it live if the ATEM has to reboot? I am streaming from a different ATEM. I could do it. I think. I would need to grab a camera that's not plugged into the ATEM. What cameras are not plugged into the ATEM? Not very many. Maybe that's a note for myself. Give myself a backup video feed that is not. Because I can route from the video hub into the streaming ATEM. But I would need something that is not... I can probably make it happen. I've got enough stuff here. Do it live. We love when things go wrong so we can see you fix it. What can go wrong? LOL. Okay. So what I'm thinking is so I'm streaming from the ATEM that's in the rack. That is plugged into, what are the inputs to that? I have one input into that that's routed from the video hub. So the video hub, I can send a signal to it that's not routed through the main ATEM that's going to need to reboot. So the things that are on that are, let's see. I need a cleaner screen so you can see this. We're going to move that over there. So ATEM SDI4, that's the SDI that's doing the encoding right now. So I can route one of these into it, which is... Deck links aren't useful. The hyperdecks over here could be useful. The 2 hyperdecks there. I also have the ProConvert decoder. And... Oh, weird. I don't have any of the patch panels. I thought some of my patch panels here were routed into the video hub, but I guess they're all going directly into the ATEM. I might want to change that. But I do have the hyperdecks that I can route something into. Or the ProConvert. I can just do like a wireless camera. NDI camera, right? Trial by fire stream. Okay. So yeah, I can do an NDI camera. What can push out NDI that is a camera that I have here? Oh, my PTZ camera can do it. That should be doable. Okay. So what I need to do is get into the ProConvert and see if I can get the NDI camera feed to show up. Let me put the ProConvert on the TV in the back. That is coming out of ProConvert. So what you should see on the back on the TV is nothing until I get the ProConvert decoding the feed. So, well, actually, there's a bunch of stream keys in here. No, there's not. That's fine. So what I need to do is figure out what's the NDI. Oh, this isn't the NDI one. That's just the RTSP one. The NDI one is plugged directly into the matrix or into the ATEM. Darn it. So then, so I can't use, oh, maybe I can pull it. It has RTSP on that, right? Okay. Yeah. That little camera, that should do it. What is the IP address of that camera? I need to find that first. Did I give it a smart IP address? Or is it just something random? It is just something random. Okay. But if I remember correctly, there is a admin interface. Yes. Okay, here we go. So here's this PTZ camera. It has other streaming outputs. Video config? Media config? There it is. So it has RTSP. So I should be able to pull an RTSP feed from this, actually. RTSP. And let's just give it that. Let's see what happens. Select. And no luck yet. Port 554. Let's edit that port to make sure it's 554. And no luck. Okay, well, I can make it an RTMP server also. So let's do it that way. So here's that. Let's push enable RTMP1 stream address RTMP 7076. What is the /live/ my very secure stream key. Okay, let's try that. And hey, there it is. Okay, now the PTZ camera is showing up there. That's coming from the Magewell ProConvert, which is routed into the video hub, which means, oh, and I'm seeing it on the ATEM now in front of me, the ATEM SDI. So that one is, where's my ATEM SDI? It is camera 4. Now that won't go away when I reboot. So now we can zoom out, see what's going on, and watch this whole thing happen. Get rid of the mess of cables. And we can watch this whole thing happen now. All right. So here we go. Now we're going to download the latest ATEM software. Download only. Oh, I am going to go into my software and save startup state. Yep. Okay. Great. This should be fine. What could possibly go wrong? What are you doing? Says I did have an issue this morning streaming to Facebook. Cache filled up, local network and internet connection were fine and at full speed. Super weird. Okay. Andre says I had a lot of streaming issues with ATEMs in the past due to changing client networks. Don't use ATEMs at all for streaming now. Too unreliable. I agree that they are not reliable on flaky networks. So that is the problem. I just realized the chat was not showing up because it's not in the other ATEM. Yeah, I agree that they're not super reliable on networks that you don't have control over. So definitely something to keep in mind. All I need is a power outage now. I do have a giant stack of batteries. If I really had to plug things in, I could plug them in with those batteries. I don't know the current health of my UPS batteries, though, so that's always a risk. Okay, it's almost there. It is. Now it's downloaded. I'm going to do a full save as in the software control also, just because I don't know how much I trust the save startup state right now. Because I know it also doesn't save my media pool videos. Okay, ATEM software control, let's do it. Install. I pair ATEM web presenters with the quality of the link. Absolutely. Yeah. They're fine on a good connection, but they just don't handle bad connections very well. Okay, ATEM software is installed. Let's run the ATEM setup. So when this updates, you should see that screen go black. You should see the first three inputs on the multi-view of that ATEM go black. That one's going to disappear. That one's going to disappear. These should all disappear. Okay, let's see what it says. ATEM 4ME constellation. Wait, no update available. What? I think I may have already updated 962. Apparently, I already when did that come out? Sorry for the So 963 only includes updates for the panels. 962 came out in September. So I must have already updated. Oh. 3, 2, 1 and no live update. Because it's already updated. Darn. Oh well. And the SDI Pro is only updated 951, and that's the latest version. Oh well. Okay, so that means if I'm already updated, I can just connect PTZ control. bit by one of those ATEM updates that has nothing for your switcher. It's true. Yep. All the excitement for nothing. Sorry. Um, okay. But now what I can do is go figure out how to get this Visca support connected into the so let me put the on the TV instead of the um, RTMP version. Let's just go for the live PTZ camera so it's a little bit less delayed. And figure out camera control. Okay, so in the settings of the ATEM software, I'm going to go to camera 22. It is not a Blackmagic camera, so I'll just leave it like that. And I can add a Visca IP. Somewhere in here I have my camera IP. Let's see if that works. Add. Okay. So that's configured. I assume that means it's over here in this camera control. So let's go to, where are you? How do I get to the other cameras? What's it called? It's called, there it is, PTZ. Okay. Do I get, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. Where's, I want PTZ control. I don't want just color control. That's the camera. That's not doing anything because it's not a Blackmagic camera. Does the focus do anything? No. Does the zoom do anything? Zoom is working. You can see the TV behind me. So zoom is working. Does that mean the shutter speed works? No. I want... It's kind of cool, though, that that works. I don't know where we get... Maybe there's no UI for it. That's frustrating. I haven't actually played with this yet. Yeah, I would assume it'd be somewhere in here. I want joysticks to be able to move the camera around. But I know Visca's working because it is zooming in and out. So that's something. Okay. Anybody else play with it? Let me know if I'm just missing something. Womp womp. Yeah. Oh well. What else can I try to break? Any other ideas? Never try PTZ controls in ATEM UI, only know it to be on the panels. Okay, so I assume that means if I did have a Blackmagic panel with the little joystick, then yes, it would work. But I do not have a panel, so I guess that's what it is. Try the dial on the bottom for pan. I don't think so. I think I already... So yeah, this is exposure control, so it's not doing anything. And this is, yeah, that's not doing anything either. You would think autofocus would work, but I don't even see it doing a focus. Yeah, that's so weird. It must work with the joystick then on the panel. Matt says, I only use my Sony PTZ controller and hardware is far better than software control. Yeah, that's true. I would never actually want to use it in software control anyway. I just don't have a panel to try with, so I was hoping to test it. Yeah. Oh, question I missed from earlier from David. Is there an image quality difference between box cameras and their camera body equivalents? Um, I'm sure it depends on the camera, but generally they use the same sensor in the two versions. So like the BGH1 that I'm using is, I think it's the same sensor as the GH5S or 5. I can't remember now. But yeah, so if it's the same sensor, it's going to be mostly the same quality. Um, so, and yeah, I would say this is the same as the GH5 S that I have. Voice on the Move says, "How can I control sound from ATEM Television Studio HD ISO directly on the unit instead of controlling it from the software?" Television Studio HD8. That one has the full panel control. There is I've barely played with this one. Just in I had one on loan briefly. And then just at NAB. But there are buttons on the top which are for the whole audio menu up here. And if I remember correctly, actually I think I did do a demo of this in a live stream when I had it. It was pretty thorough. It lets you do an awful lot. So dive into that menu up there. It's these buttons, and there's a ton of stuff in there. So you should be able to do it there without touching the software control. Lacey says, "We need more RØDECaster video content. I still can't figure out how to get a green graphic over my video and sit it behind in layers like OBS. I should definitely do more RØDECaster content. It definitely doesn't work the same as OBS, but let's see if we can try to do this. Green graphic, I assume you mean chroma keying a graphic out. Behind layers. So it doesn't really have that many layers. So let's see. So what can I do? Where can I find some green graphics? Yes. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. So there definitely are some limits to what you can do with that. Let's see if I can figure out a good way to demo this. Oh, I can do something in Keynote on my iPad. So let me do this first. Get out of karaoke mode. So on my iPad, I like using Keynote for this just because it's a really quick way to make, wow, so many fingerprints. It's a really quick way to make, I should stop having the back of my head on the TV back there. Let's go back to the map. Really quick way to make graphics, which is fun. Let's see. Let's open, just make a new one. So with this, we can just make a blank slide. Let's make the background, is it that one? Yeah, background green. This is not a very good green. There we go. We need the obnoxious green. There we go. And then let's put some text. This is a lot easier to do on a computer. The other thing you can do is make a slide deck on your computer, save it in your iCloud, and then just import it. Just like open it on the iPad. And that is, in fact, a lot easier. Where's the text tool? Jeez. No, I don't want to insert a drawing. I want to insert text. There it is. Weird. It's in the graphics. So let's just put this down here. I have my name. And then where's the format? There we go. Text. Let's make this bigger. Bold. Maybe a more fun font. Okay, so really simple. Maybe that's not enough. Let's add a shape. Let's add a shape just so that there's something on here besides the graphic. How about an umbrella? Because it is currently raining outside. That seems appropriate. And then let's make that, let's see if we can make it a different color. Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in to the HDMI, and then I should have graphics there. I need to get that sent out to the RØDECaster video. So if I do this in slideshow mode, we should see it show up there. And I need to get it into the RØDECaster. So instead of patch 4 being the computer, patch 4 will be the iPad. Okay. Oh, I already keyed it. Why is it? There we go. Okay, now it's reset. Okay, so this is what you would expect to see on the RØDECaster video when you plug in the iPad. Let me just actually switch over to it so you can see it full screen. I've got, a camera. I've got the overhead camera. I've got the PTZ camera. Let's maybe move in a little bit. There we go. And, or was it? Nope. Maybe I didn't save that position. I want this angle. Okay. So iPad playing a Keynote file. It's I've got graphics there. Okay. Oh, you got more of your question. I put green where my camera goes and then key it out, but my camera never fits and it's a bit weird. Not totally sure I understand, but okay. The first thing you need to do in the RØDECaster is set up the keying, and the keying works on the input. So essentially, when I go into the key menu here, keying, I'm going to tap on 4. Oh gosh. No. Gosh, this is so much easier to do in the computer. I'm going to do it in the computer. Road Central. Okay, so in Road Central, Scene Builder, here's input 4. Here's the key menu. And I can turn on chroma key, and then boom, it did it already. Like, it figured out the green background, the right green, and you can see that it's got the white umbrella, and then you can see just the little outlines around the text. So that is black. It's showing it on a black background because that means it's transparent. But once this is set up this way, then anytime you use this in a scene, it will work like you expect and it'll be transparent. So now if I go back to, let's go to this. So obviously you would never now cut to this angle by itself because it doesn't make any sense that way. But if you make a scene with it, it'll overlay it properly. So what you have to do, and this is again a lot easier to do in the computer. Let's go tap on C. Let's make a custom scene. And it is we'll add on the bottom, we'll add the main camera. And on the top, we'll add input 4. And it's doing exactly what you want it to do. It's got the white and the black overlaid on top. Now, this is where we get into the limits of the layers. If you're doing this custom scene, which again is a lot easier to do in the computer, you do have the ability to, it's distracting the two of me there. You do have the ability to add more layers. So if you had a second thing, second keyed graphic, like let's say, this is going to look weird, but we're going to do it anyway. Rather than me making a proper graphic, I'm actually going to just like, I'm going to route my map over to it. So yeah, so input 3 is the map, which means I can key out, let's say, the blue in this case. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to the key menu, blue, chroma key it, and then now it's keyed out all the water, which is actually kind of cool, right? So now if I go back to scene C, I can add another layer, and I can go and actually move it down below the, I should rename this, it's not the wall anymore. So let's rename the sources. This is the keynote, and this is the map. Now scene C is going to have keynote here and the map underneath it. And so now you can see it's layering it, right? So we've got the camera on the bottom, which is this one, the map, which is in the middle layer, and then the keynote on top of that. And this is all saved in the scene. So here's where this, now this is the limit that I wanted to mention, which is this is scene C. So I can cut between a camera, the other camera, and this scene. This is like, might be what we actually would be doing in practice. This is completely independent from the RØDECaster video feature, which is called, which is overlays. So it has its own overlay feature, which is this blue icon here. And this lets you add graphics on top of all of this. So I have a graphic here loaded already, which is this is actually probably easier now to just show you this. So when I push that layer button, see how it says overlay over on the right side? That blue thing pops up, and now the middle, that row on top is showing me the graphics that are loaded. So here I have a graphic which has the RØDECaster video text up in the top left corner, and I can bring that on and off, and it's on top of all of that. I also have Lily's logo for Oh My Dollar in there, which now the umbrella is attached to it. And the difference between overlays and scenes is the overlays, let's turn on both of them. Oh, I can only have one on at a time, right? The overlays stay on top no matter what. So the overlays are there as I'm switching between cameras and scenes, but the two video inputs that I have, which is the map and keynote, those can only be overlaid once we're when we're creating a scene. So that's the big difference. But still pretty flexible, pretty cool. I guess that helped. Great, thanks. I love this map overlay on the live video. It's like the movie Minority Report. That is an old movie now, is the thing I learned recently. Gwen says, curious why your head is cut off in scene B. Oh, because I created scene B to do something funky. Let me show you what it's doing. Scene B is a multi-source scene, but the camera is, where is that? How did I do it? It's like, I guess I don't have numbers to poke at it. It's scaled. So let's say I went and, how did I do it? Now I don't remember how I did it. It's a scene created with the camera cropped in. Let me delete it. Let's see if I can do it again. So we'll create scene B again with just that camera. But then if I scale it down, no, I need to crop it. There we go. So if I drag the sides in and drag the top in, so see, okay, that's what it is. Those are the numbers that are cropping. And then I should be able to scale this back up. Yeah. I just apparently did a better job of it last time. It's kind of weird that it doesn't really look like that's what's happened after you've done it. Oh, and I can shift it around too. This is handy. So I can go like that. So I had made a scene with the camera zoomed in, cropped. So now I have that and that. I can't remember why I did that, but that's what was going on. I don't think I was making a scene. Yes, that's the trick. The scenes are where all the power happens in the RØDECaster video, and it's very limited what scenes you can create on the buttons themselves. You're limited to just a couple of presets. So definitely open up the Rode Central app, and that is where you can do all the fun stuff. Karaoke mode. Yeah, I was experimenting with karaoke. This has been a weird little distraction, diversion of new product research. The we're planning on setting up a karaoke in one of the rooms of the house so that we can just do karaoke at parties and stuff. And I figured this is a good time to start doing the research on karaoke machines. And I haven't really looked at the space at all in any recent history, in any recent past. And so I went and I started looking around, and there's a combination of, there's different kinds of karaoke machines. There's like essentially a Bluetooth speaker that has microphones that are paired with it, and that's all it does. But there's also, and those are anywhere from like $30 to $100. Then there's like the next tier seems to be the same thing, but with an Android tablet built into it. And the Android tablet can run the Carafun app or other, or just YouTube or whatever. And those are more expensive. They start at like 150 or so, and they go up to 800. And I was really curious, and so I bought one. It was really on a good sale. And it is sitting over there now. It is loud. It is pretty cool. The microphones are not the best quality, obviously, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like the things going into the microphones are the best quality either when you're singing karaoke. So it works. I'm not like super, I'm pretty sure the Android tablet that's built into it is extremely underpowered. But it does work. It does run the Carafun app. It also came with a 6-month free subscription to Carafun, which is cool. And so I was testing it out. I managed to crash the app within like 10 minutes. It was hanging after I tried to sync a bunch of songs down to it. Had to reboot it. It's an Android tablet. They've done a lot of like papering over it the way that YoloBox has too, where it's like it boots up into its own app. You would never know it's Android. There's no launcher screen. But if you dig deep enough into the menus, you'll eventually see pop-up dialogues or settings screens that are Android, and it's very clear. They even say it's Android on the box. It's not like they're trying to hide it. So they did do a good job of like smoothing it out and making it not feel like you're just using a tablet. But it is definitely underpowered. So I then tried the other mode, which is Bluetooth, and I just put the Carafun app on my iPad and just connected over Bluetooth from my iPad to use it as a Bluetooth speaker, essentially. And it works great. It works well for that. And the iPad is much more powerful than that Android tablet. So probably going to end up using it that way more, but then it's like, why bother getting a version with the screen? So I bought one that doesn't have a screen that was like $30, and it feels very flimsy, but the sound is surprisingly not bad. So I have one more coming today to try, and then we'll see the final result of this. The other fun thing that I found in Carafun, which I had no idea was a thing, is you can create your own karaoke songs now. You can just upload music. It will auto separate the lyrics from the vocal track from the music. And if you give it a transcript of the lyrics, it will auto sync syllable by syllable the lyrics that you type into the sound, the audio, and it worked about 95% of the 2 songs that I tried. And it just gives you this nice little editor interface to fiddle with the timing of it if you want to. And I was able to create a karaoke song in like 10 minutes. This is its little online editor. You can just like tap into here and drag the syllables around. And if you want, the only weird thing is that every time you do anything, it spins. It's so annoying. So you can like tell it how long do you want that word to be highlighted. And then it just works. And then as soon as you hit publish, anybody using the Carafon app can do your sing your song. It's super cool. Let me go find the links to these karaoke machines so I can actually like. So okay, that's that one. And oh, this I guess it was a real sale because it is now back up to normal price. The so the big fancy one, big fancy machine that runs the app itself is this one. And this is the it's $450. I got it for $100 off. I assume they'll do sales randomly on it. It's actually called the Break X2. Here's the actual product page for it. This is yeah, so list price. Oh yeah, they have a $100 discount on their website right now, and they do the Amazon discount every now and then too. So this is the one with the built-in Android tablet that is definitely underpowered Android tablet, but it is still a pretty cool little box. And then the super cheap one that I got next, oh, it was 60. I think again there was a coupon a couple days ago when I got it. The super cheap one, which I wish I had a way to describe the plastic that they use. I don't know what the right I don't know what the right word is to describe the plastic. You can't really tell in the picture. Maybe you can. Do you see how it's got that like faux leather look? That's hard plastic, like super hard. And just imagine, like, if you look at this, you're like, oh, that should feel like a couple of pounds heavy, right? Like it looks like it should weigh something. But actually, all of the weight is just like in the front part where the speakers are, and there's no weight in the back. So it's super light and it just feels very flimsy. The microphones are also very flimsy feeling. And this is just a Bluetooth speaker with the microphones paired to it, and it works, and it actually sounds fine. I was kind of surprised that it didn't sound super tinny. Pretty loud, decent bass. Not saying this is like the best speaker in the world, but given how it felt, I was expecting much worse. So then the last one that's coming shortly, in a few hours, hopefully, is, we'll see if it's a middle ground. This one, which is no name, looks like a different kind of plastic. Maybe it's the same kind. It's hard to tell. Really hard to tell from these pictures. So we'll see. It looks like it's a little bit larger. I like the big knob on top. I really want a volume control that's like easily accessible. Oh yeah, also on the break, I didn't even notice this, but this, oops. This thing is a volume control. It looks like it's part of the speaker, but it's actually like a weird ball that you spin to change the volume. So yeah, anyway, we will see. This one feels sturdy. It feels solid. It's heavy like you want it to be. Apparently it also has a hole on the bottom so you can mount it onto a speaker stand. So that's also kind of useful. There's also HDMI out on it. So if you are using the Carafon app, you can plug into TV and broadcast just the lyrics up there, which is super handy. But again, it's not a very powerful tablet, and it worked. I had better luck with the iPad. Oh, link to the app. Yeah, the Carafun is the app. They've been around for a long time too. Last time I actually used this was like 20, I want to say 2015 or 16. So that's good. They've been around long enough that they're clearly not going away. Um, who would have guessed that an iPad that costs how much more than this other solution has more power? It's true. The iPad, this is, the iPad that I was using is not the newest one though. So it's like, let's see, what is this one? It is iPad Pro 11-inch. They don't tell you what generation it is in the menu. Let's see if the model number shows up. It is the 2018 version. It is. Do they have the MU1K? No. Yeah, it's the iPad Pro, but it's the 2018 version. So you can probably find one used for a decent price, but still, yes, it'll cost probably as much as the whole karaoke machine. Or if you happen to have an old iPad, then there you go. Wonder what kind of chaos you can create with the HDMI out and all your live streaming stuff. I mean, a lot. Let's see. Because I uploaded my own karaoke songs, I can, in fact, play the karaoke song on the stream. So the I'll make sure I'm not blasting music on the stream. No, okay. Monitor. Yeah, there it is. That is too loud though. So the where is, there we go. I'm just trying to make this layout for showing the output of the HDMI. So that is the iPad. So what's projected out of the HDMI looks like this, and it's just the lyrics. Oh, it's kind of annoying that it's got the little inset. I feel like that's an iPad thing. Oh, funny, it's ducking as I'm talking. That's really funny. It is. As I'm talking, I can hear it ducking the music. I wonder where that setting is. You can join the karaoke session by scanning that QR code, and then you can add songs to my queue. But if you add copyrighted songs, then I can't play them. Anyway, it's fun. Valentine says, what's the map on the monitor? Is it those on the live stream? Yes, if you put in hi from a city or a country, it'll pop up on the map. Until the YouTube robots decide you don't own it. Yeah. How do I get my screen back into my RØDECaster video? So basic, but I use my iPad because I can't figure it out. Your screen, like your computer screen? So any of these switchers, the way that they work is they're just HDMI inputs. So if you plug your computer into one of the inputs, your computer doesn't know that it's a switcher. It just sees it as a second screen. So if you take a laptop, plug in HDMI from a laptop into the RØDECaster video, your laptop will show that an external display is connected called RØDECaster video. And oh, that's, I gotta move the tapes, blocking the message. Your computer will see it as a second display. So if you go to your screen mirroring settings And I can show you, this is my computer. I am currently screen mirroring to the ATEM. So I have my computer plugged into the ATEM. So it is, it's showing up as Blackmagic, but you would see RØDECaster if you plugged it in there. These are the Apple TVs. And now my iPads show up there also. And then your screen mirroring settings, you have the option of either, you have the option to, again, as far as your computer is concerned, it's just another monitor. So you can decide, do you want to mirror or extend to the external monitor? I'm now realizing that this is not a laptop, so there's no built-in screen. So this is the only monitor plugged in. But same idea. Your laptop would see your laptop screen and the external display, which is called RØDECaster, and then you choose, do you want to mirror them? Do you want to extend to use as a second monitor? And if it's a second monitor, then you can, like in Keynote, for example, you would get presenter notes on your laptop screen, and Keynote would show up in the RØDECaster. Can I do the map for one state or just one country? I can zoom it in. It's not easy to do because this is on the Fire TV. I don't think browser zoom works on the Fire TV. But this is like, it's literally just can I scroll it? Yeah, I can pan around with the remote. I don't have a good way to zoom. Does double click do anything? No, I don't have a good way to zoom on that. I must have a crappy cable because it never finds it when I plug it in. That could be. It should just see it like a second monitor. Matt says Japan is serious about karaoke. They have some serious systems. That is true. That is a good point. That's something I should maybe look at. We have a couple good karaoke places in Portland that do private room karaoke. So you can rent a room and it's just for your group. And it's very well done. It's all homegrown software that runs it. And you can this was more unique 10 plus years ago, but yeah, they have the whole thing like join the group by typing in the code onto your phone, add songs from your phone into the queue, control the volume from your phone and all that kind of stuff. It's very cool. But now the Carafun app just does it all built in too. So it's very easy to run a karaoke room now. Anyway. Oh, so yeah, other RØDECaster video thing, speaking of. The reason I brought this out is because I actually wanted to set this up with companion for Lily, because she is going to do, it's coming up very soon now, in next week's stream is, her streams are on Tuesday. So next week is Christmas Eve. We're going to be at her parents' house and for Christmas Eve, and she still wanted to do a live stream. So I was like, sure, we can make that happen. I can bring enough gear to do a live stream remote, and decided to use the RØDECaster video for that. Mostly because I'm really curious if it is going to be a good option for her long term. Right now, the system that she is using is, like every ATEM system, requires a lot of different parts. I am looking for the video link that goes through her tour. If you're curious about it, I just want the link in the chat. Her entire YouTube studio is, so in this video I went through all the whole setup, but it's basically a this is her set. The whole thing is controlled by a Stream Deck, so she's only interacting with the Stream Deck during her stream. I went through that setup. And somewhere in here, I show the rack of gear. That's all the rigging for the cameras. That's what she's looking at, is a monitor for the multi-view, front and overhead cameras, that lights for lighting up things in front of her. But yeah, she's just using the Stream Deck to control it. And then this is the rack. So we've got the ATEM Extreme, ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, HyperDeck for video clip playback. There's a audio interface to go from XLR to 1/8 inch mic, a network switch, battery on the bottom, which needs replacing because that battery lasts 5 minutes now. And what else? There's, oh, Apple TV, of course. Apple TV, so she can do screen sharing wirelessly from an iPad or from the computer, which is really handy. And that's basically it. So as far as the inputs go, it's not like she needs 8 video sources. Oh, there is also another camera, which is the camera that faces the donut shop. And that way we can watch the cats. It's the OBSBot. We can watch the cats on the stream. And yeah, so it's not like she has 8 cameras, but by the time you add video playback and chat overlay, chat graphics, that's 2 cameras. So we run out of, like, this wouldn't work on an ATEM Mini. ATEM Mini doesn't have enough inputs for it because we need 2 actual cameras, I guess 3 actual cameras, the cat cam, and then chat, video clips, and computer screen. So that's already 6 sources. And so that's why we're using the ATEM Mini Extreme for it. And so my thought is, well, can we do the same thing but with the RØDECaster? Because the RØDECaster doesn't have 6 video inputs, but we don't need 6 video inputs if some of the features can be built in. So for this, we would have the main camera, the overhead camera, and then cat cam, so the map. And we do need a camera input for the chat, but the video clips are built in. So the video clips being built in means we don't need to eat up an input for that, as long as I can actually have an easy way to control them from the device. So yeah, great question. RØDECaster video versus ATEM Mini Extreme. What about the YoloBox Ultra? The big problem with the YoloBox is that it is not exactly as for a fixed studio. It is awkward because it requires that you do a lot of the, like, scene setup stuff each time. It's not like, so with this ATEM setup that we have in her studio, it's on all the time. It's running, and she can literally sit down and within 2 minutes go live. Like, it's just a couple buttons on the Stream Deck. But that's not the case with the YoloBox, because you have to, if it got reset for some reason, you have to go recreate your scenes. You have that launcher screen that, like, it's not just default in I'm ready to go mode. You have to, like, do setup steps. It's not that hard, and you can definitely do it. But it's like just extra things to add to a setup list. The RØDECaster video is a lot closer to the ATEM in that where it's just like, once it's on, it's just ready to go. If I turn it off and turn it back on, it's going to come back to exactly the same state that it was in. So this is basically always ready to go. The reason that I haven't just put this in at her studio yet is because it's not quite ready. Again, it's not quite just sit down and go, because one example is, in order to stream, it's like a touchscreen button required, right? So I have to tap that and then tap go live. It'd be nice if that button went live, but that just records the disc right now. So, like, it really should just go live. So it sounds minor, but it's just a little bit extra. And then the other big problem is that the audio controls are buried under this menu. So if you want to mute your main microphone before you're live, like when your countdown is running, you have to go scroll over here find it, and then like do that, right? Which is not something I'm going to be like telling somebody else to do. So this is why I was really excited for the update to this, which adds support for a Stream Deck. Because finally, with a Stream Deck, I can now actually make buttons that control the RØDECaster video, including, most importantly, audio. So now I have audio buttons that are able to mute and unmute the microphone or the video clips. I have a button for streaming. So now I can actually go and make a show controller for Lily's show, and she can just use the Stream Deck. And this is also another reason why not the YoloBox, because I can't use a Stream Deck. Well, there's the YOLO deck, but I'm limited in terms of what buttons they add to the YOLO deck, and it's not exactly the same as a Stream Deck, and I really want it to work this way. So let me walk through setting this up for her show, because this is what I wanted to actually show now that we can actually use a Stream Deck with the RØDECaster video. And I am going to use the companion plugin. So there's two different ways to use a Stream Deck with the RØDECaster video. One is from the Stream Deck app on the computer. And the Stream Deck app is, I don't use it because I normally don't have my Stream Decks plugged into a computer. They're normally plugged into a Raspberry Pi. And that's kind of how I like to use them. So instead, I'm going to use Companion for the RØDECaster. So I've already got it connected here. It's connected and talking to the RØDECaster video. I am on the beta. I guess I'm on an old beta now. I just installed this last week though. So it's not in the production companion yet, but you can download it. And now I can actually go and create a page for controlling her show. So the main things I want to do, if I think about the sequence of events that happens during her stream, it's she has a couple different layouts and of like top-down camera with her face in the corner, the cat's next to her camera, her main camera. So there's a couple of those layouts, which we can do with scenes, but that's not the hard part. And I've already done actually that in a video on the channel. The new thing that we can do is make buttons that are things like play the countdown timer clip and mute the microphone, and then a show start button that unmutes the microphone and stops the countdown, right? So let's see what we can do. This is not going to be in the best location, but let's say like start countdown, and then do I even have that clip loaded? No, I don't. I need to actually put a countdown clip in the media pool. I think I have it somewhere though. Let's see. I should have prepared this. I know I have her graphics somewhere. There's her theme song. So the way I have it working on the ATEM is basically it's a 5-minute long video clip, and it's got the countdown music and a countdown timer all built into that video clip, and it just plays from the hyperdeck. Where is it? Livestream graphics. Countdown 5 minutes, 164 megabytes. That's fine. Okay. So I should be able to, again, one of the things that you have to do from the computer versus from the controller, but I should be able to upload this clip. I've already got some, that's her title, her little animation. Okay, so I do need to add a countdown timer. Uploading. Let's see if that worked. There's the countdown, 5 minutes. Okay. So I should be able to assign this to a button. Let's put that on A. Let's get rid of that. Delete. Let's delete my drone video. Let's delete that. Okay. You know, I should have done is made this a different show, because you can actually save like yeah, you can save like all the settings, the shows in. You can export them to your computer, but you can also then have different profiles on the RØDECaster. Okay, so here's her countdown. Playback mode is once. Oh yeah, one of the limitations right now, which is going to be annoying, is there's no option to fast forward. So essentially what this means is she has to press this button 5 minutes before going live, and there's no option to add a minute or take off a minute. I could make multiple versions. I could make like a 60-second one. I'll probably do that if we actually go go live with this, just so that in case she starts it too early or starts it too late, can always at least have just a minute long countdown running. Okay, so there's that clip. We do want her overlay. Let's see, let's get rid of this one. But her logo is good. We also want, back in media, we want this clip B, which is this little animation, just a couple seconds long. Another limit with the RØDECaster right now, which I'm hoping they change soon, is as soon as the video ends, I would love it to just auto switch back to something. We might be able to fake it with Companion now because we can set delayed triggers. Like we can like delay actions, so that if we know how long this video clip is, we can run something that many seconds after you press the button. So let's get those two loaded in there. And that's good enough for now, I think. So let's go back to Companion. So start countdown. What we need to do is, let's see, media sources, trigger media, media A. That's where the countdown is. Then the audio is where this is really important. So audio sources. We have XLR microphones on this now, which is great. But for going to her parents' house, we're going to use a wireless mic just because it's going to be easier. So let's grab one of these and pair it with the RØDECaster. So let's see. Let's actually set up my audio channels. Wireless 1, wireless 2. Yep. Video clips. Yep. Sounds. Sure. We don't need HDMI audio. I'll leave Bluetooth available. Okay, great. So now we go into wireless 1. Tap to pair. Tap the button. And there it is. Okay. Great. So now we have audio for the RØDECaster. So we want to wireless 1 on the live mix, toggle the mute. Oh, toggle mute. No, I want to set mute. Well, I'm going to have to do change volume. Set it to what's the lowest it goes. This is feedback for their Companion module. I will have to tell them about this. Let's see. Let's set it to nothing and then see if learn works. Yeah. Okay, so -60 is mute. So we're going to mute the microphone and we're going to video clips. We're going to turn the video clips up. So 0 dB. So now pressing the start countdown button should, let's go to here. Pressing the start countdown should, oh, let's remove this back up. Okay, so you can see the wireless audio meter is bouncing, and as soon as I press start countdown, it should play the video clip and mute my microphone and turn up the music from the video clip. It looks like it's working. Great. So then I need a start show button. So start show is going to do the opposite. Start show, and this is going to For wireless, change the volume back to 0. For the... Actually, I can leave the video clips at 0. But then we're going to just... input button. So we're just going to load input 1. And that should stop the sound from the video clip. Let's see if that's true. So if I press start show, we should get my audio from my mic back and cut to the main camera. And yeah, the video clip audio stopped because the video clip is not playing anymore. So that was easy. And that's already now infinitely better than having to do it on the RØDECaster buttons, because that would have taken like 3 or 4 button presses each. So now I can go quickly between countdown, set the audio to match, so mute the microphone so that you can talk before the show, and then start show. I should probably actually, because I suspect I might be a guest on the stream, since we're going to be doing kind of a silly, lighthearted stream, I'm going to turn both microphones off. And then starting the show will bring up only her microphone, mic 1, which means I'm going to make buttons down here for audio. So this is actually not going to be input 1 audio. This is going to be, it is going to be, we need the variables. I wish there was like a reference to the variables here. RØDECaster, what do they call it? Wireless. Wireless 1. Oh, I guess it doesn't have a name. It's just called wireless 1. Oh, this is cool. It has variables for whether it's connected or not. So I can like, oh, and signal strength. Oh, this is actually really cool. And onboard recording. Whoa. This is great. So I can make the little colors. The buttons change colors based on things. So like if this is not connected. Okay, so this is cool. So this is going to be wireless 1 audio, and if it is, let's see, variable, check the variable. If wireless 1 connected is false, then I can make the background red. And then if wireless 1 is set volume 0, then we'll have a green. And that means if I start the countdown, then that shouldn't be green. Wireless 1. Oh, current volume. There we go. If the current volume is 0, then it's green, otherwise it's black. Okay, great. And then if I start the show, it should turn green. No? Wireless 1, live mix, current volume. Is it actually set to 0? It is. Maybe it's... Why isn't that working? Set volume, current volume. I don't understand the difference between set volume and current volume. I'm gonna have to dig into that a little bit. Huh. Well, I'm basically trying to make it show the status, but since I'm not actually muting the channel, I can't use the mute status. Because apparently I can't make a button that sets the mute state. I can only make a button that toggles the mute state. But if I copy this one over to wireless 2, since I don't have a wireless 2 connected, let's see if this works with 2. Yeah, I have to get rid of that one. No? I'm going to get it to work. Wireless 2 audio. I wanted to show red because there's no wireless 2. Oh, good idea. Hit the learn button and see what it says. Okay, action current volume. Why is the wireless one volume? Oh, that's actual current, like live audio level. That's like as I'm talking, this is like current volume of like it is actually um getting, it's like the little bar bouncing. That's not what I want. Set volume. This should be 0. Yeah, okay. So what happens on the countdown? Why is it not? Why is the set volume still 0 if it's set, if the countdown is running? Audio mixer. Yeah, wireless one is set to -60. So why is that showing that it's set to 0? Let's try it this way. Nope. Weird. That's so weird. I don't know why it's not reading the set volume right. Yeah, the button natural color is black. So it is, and if I turn this off, it should go black. Yeah. So it is running this. It's just not actually reading the value right. Maybe yeah, that's so weird. Darn. Okay. Well, since this is still in beta, I will file a feature request that what I really want is I want the I don't want a toggle mute action. I want a set mute action, and I want to set it to muted or unmuted rather than toggling. Yeah, this is really meant to do. So it's meant to do to do a toggle, right? So I can say mute status, and then this button works like you expect. Of pressing it runs a toggle mute, and then the green or black reflects the status of the mute. I would love this connected state to work too, though. Yeah, huh. So close. Yeah, it should be. I wonder if it's a problem of strings versus booleans. Wireless 2 feedback, it should be false, but maybe it's because it's thinking it's a string. Let's see. What if it's not true? No, it's never true. Huh. Ah, there we go. I had to use the built-in variable, not me typing in the variable. So now let's connect the other mic. So I'll go settings, pair, tap, and connect. And then now it's not red anymore. That worked great. So if it got disconnected, so let's turn it off, then it turns red, and now I know something's wrong. I like that. We'll take it. All right, what's going on in the chat? 90-minute check, thanks. You could do some elaborate trigger logic, that is true, to get around the mute status. What if you could use a generic OSC connection and create the mute command? Oh, maybe. I forgot that it is based on OSC. I could take a look at that. Matt, thank you for the super chat. Not sure I'll be able to hear next week, so thanks for all your help throughout the year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks. You too. Thanks for joining. What is next week? 22nd. I will be here next week. Is there a feedback for fader levels? Yeah, that should be the set volume state, but that's the one that's being weird. Oh, maybe we can test it and see if I can get the button text string to show the fader level. So if I say, wait, it's not a variable. Oh, there's wireless _1, and some of them are wireless 1. Oh boy. Wireless 1 live level. That's the one. So as I'm talking, then let's see, I need to actually unmute it. Yeah, so now it's bouncing around. You can see the value is changing. So I need to copy the variable name, not the value. I could make it here. And now that's that font. So now that value actually is showing me an accurate representation of the volume level. If I remember correctly, they actually have a preset that does this. Audio. Yeah. So they did feedback states of if the current volume is less than 6 dB, it's red. If it's less than 5 dB, it's yellow. If it's less than 0, it's green. So if I, and this is on the sounds channel, but let me change this to the wireless 1 channel. So change this to wireless 1, wireless 1, wireless 1, wireless 1. There we go. So now as I'm talking, it should be changing, it should change colors if I'm talking too loud or too soft. Hello? Check, check, check. No. I thought that's what it was doing. Current volume. I swear I saw this doing it earlier, bouncing around. Or is this based on the actual set volume? No. Well, maybe this is why it's still in beta. Oh, because that should be wireless 1 live level. There it is. So it's doing something. You can see the value bouncing around. Now I'm just not sure why the colors aren't changing. Huh, I swear I had that. I swear I saw that happening earlier when I was testing this. Interesting that the video thumbnail didn't update while I was playing. Oh, the thumbnails do update. They update very slowly. So if I go back to here and start the countdown, it's like every couple of seconds. Oh, I thought it was. I guess not. Oh, it's when they're no, I could have sworn I had the drone video, saw the drone video updating when I had that loaded in. Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. And I don't have, I don't have any playback control over it. It should be like a VU meter. That's what I thought I saw it doing before. The number is definitely updating. I'm surprised your Rode mic doesn't have your sticker on it. This is my set that doesn't have the stickers. I have another set that does have the stickers. Could you build a companion-based countdown that was programmable so you would just play the video as a background and audio? The problem is that I'm trying to avoid bringing an external video player device for the countdown. So I'm trying to use the video playback feature that's only inside the RØDECaster. And that currently doesn't have any ability to skip ahead, to scrub ahead or backwards or forwards. So I don't necessarily need buttons for it on the RØDECaster, but it would be at least nice if there was a companion action that could seek like skip ahead or set the ideally set the playback position. So I could say like start playing this video from 1 minute. And then if I know my video is 5 minutes long, my countdown's 5 minutes long, I can say start playing from 1 minute when I need to start with 4 minutes left on the clock, which is how I do it on the Stream Deck right now. So her hyperdeck, where's my, so here I have buttons for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 minute, right? And what this does is it says go to that clip starting at timecode 1 minute and then play. And this one starts at 2 minutes and this one starts at 3 minutes. And that way I can tell the hyperdeck to play back video starting at any point during that clip. And then it will start the timer from, you know, where I want it to. So that's what I want to do on the RØDECaster. In that list of variables you can copy from, move the volume on the RØDECaster and see what value changes. Oh, I like that idea. You're smart. If I go to variables and go, the problem is it's wireless 1 and wireless underscore 1, so it's gonna be hard to tell. So if I go to wireless 1 and change the volume down, it's this one, wireless 1 live set level. Good thinking. So let me get rid of this one that's blinking. Wireless 1 audio, the feedback is I still don't know why this one isn't working when it's set to set volume. Because that sure looks to me like if I... Oh, now it is. Set volume 0 dB. So now if I do the countdown... Yeah, see, that's the thing, is I don't understand why... Oh, it's almost like... If I'm flipping the knob, then it does what I expect. If I'm turning the knob, it goes from black to green. That's what I want, right? Like when this is above 0, I want it to show green. And if it's, well, I need to change it to now 60 to be black, right? That's what I want. However, it looks like if that changes based on a companion action, it doesn't update the state. So that's a bug somewhere, because you can see it changing there, right? I can see that one got set to 0, and if I do the countdown, it drops, but it's not feeding that back into companion. Oh, that's so weird. And if you look at companion when I do this, if you look at the list of variables, this is the one I'm looking at. Live set level, and if I toggle it between starting the countdown and going live, they all change to negative 60 except that one. That doesn't make any sense. And I should see it. Yeah, it's jumping here too on the live mix. So it's definitely something is wrong. I think it's with the companion module. Something is not causing that one to update, but the rest of them are. That's so weird. Okay. Well, it's still beta, so I have a couple of bugs to file. But good troubleshooting suggestion. Okay. Oh, hi, Mother Bee. I didn't see you there. Thanks for joining. Yeah, now we're back on slightly better time zone for Australia. It is currently beta. So, yeah. If you have eCam, you can create an adjustable countdown. However, it will jump to new value after you change it versus dragging a time slider. Maybe also doable in OBS. Yeah, I just don't want to bring OBS into it. Actually, I guess I could, because if we want chat to show up anyway, we have to use OBS. So that's the other limit right now with the RØDECaster is you can't use a video source as an overlay. I want a video source to be able to act as an overlay so that I can have the chat show up in, input 3 or whatever, and then have it always on top as I'm changing angles, and I can't do that right now. So instead, the chat will only show up in scenes that I create because I can chroma key out the chat like we showed earlier of scene. Well, I can go make scene D with the camera, and then I can add the chat on top of it. Mine is in the map right now. So now scene D is my camera with the overlay. So actually, this is another good reason for using the Stream Deck, because it means that I'm actually not going to have any buttons that are input 1, 2, 3, because this is actually going to be scene A, which is going to be the camera with the chat. Input 2 will be other camera with the chat, like that. But yeah, just another good reason for the Stream Deck, because I can actually arrange these buttons properly in a way that makes sense and not have to explain, don't press 1, 2, 3, 4, only press A, B, C, D. So that's really nice. So yeah, after the, when I get this actually set up and running after the show on Tuesday, I will follow up and let you know how it went. Oh, question from David. Is there any way to take the live stream capability of the GH52, et cetera, that normally stream using the Lumix Sync app, either on the app or another streaming interface? Those also have a direct RTMP stream capability. So you could always push directly from that to an RTMP server like a Magewell ProConvert, or the Director Mini, or does YoloBox have RTMP server now? I think it does. So you can push directly into that from that camera. It'd be a fun demo. I haven't actually done that yet. Pushing that camera into the Director Mini. All right. I think we're going to wrap this up. This has been now longer than I expected. I need to shoot some videos today. God, I keep saying that and I keep forgetting to do it. Too many projects going on. I really do want to do a couple videos about YoloBox Director Mini, based on the question that came up last week, which I thought was a good demo of how do I share my iPhone screen into these switchers. Doesn't really work super great with a RØDECaster video because you just have to use a cable and it's nothing special, but the NDI thing is the trick that we demoed last week. So I want to turn that into its own video. I think it would be useful. I just need to actually sit down and film that. Maybe not with my pushing holiday sweater. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks as always for the questions. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks to the channel extreme supporters, Larry and Marcin. And thanks to all the other channel supporters as well. Again, if you are a channel member, thanks as always. And make sure you join the Discord so we can keep in touch throughout the week and chat about whatever's going on and other things I'm unboxing throughout the week. 15 minutes before Curtis Judd's stream. Yep, go check out his stream if you want to learn a lot more about the audio side of things. Have a good rest of the week, and I will see you back here, same time, same place next week. And yeah, coming right up to the end of the year, real fast here. Hopefully everyone can finish everything they plan to before the end of the year. OMD showcase with the RØDECaster video and companion would be a good video as well. I agree. So hopefully this goes well on next week's stream for Lily Tuesday, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do a little recap video of the setup. My do not disturb went off because my phone thinks the stream is over. So clearly that means we are done here. All right. Thanks everybody. Bye.